Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Vrindavana-vilasini
Gopi Jana Vallabha
Gopi Jana
Yeah, you
Vallabha
Vrindavana-vilasini
Gopi
Jana Vallabha
Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhanagari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhanagari
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Jamunatira Vanachari
Munatira Vanachari
Jamunatira Vanachari
Munatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Radhika Krishna Vanamali Giriju Ki Jai Ho Om Agana Timarandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu and Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Mahavandanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gora Tavashe Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to my Harinam Diksha Guru, my Guru Maharaj, my spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Some say Swami Maharaj, Swamiji. And second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, our Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta. And to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our entire Guru Parampara and all Vaishnavas, especially to Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur and his Mādhurya-kādambinī. But since yesterday here in Vrindavan was the Abhirbhava of Srila Narayan Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, and I know for some it's the appearance day today. I think in America, many places it's the appearance day is today. So I thought we would talk a little bit about Srila Narayan Maharaj today, since it's what an amazing personality. And we're so fortunate to have had his association. So yesterday I spoke a little bit, but I thought I'd speak some more today. And if we have a chance, I might ask some of you to speak too. So, Srila Narayan Maharaj is as we know, he's a Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava. He's coming, his guru, Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, the disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, son of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, disciple of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, up to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So, as he would say, Paka Rupanuga. So what does this mean? Who is Rupanuga? Who is Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj? Who is he? Who is Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami has his Sadak Deha and his Siddha Deha. So you have Sadak Rupena, Siddha Rupena. And all of our gurus coming down from him also have Sadak Rupena, Siddha Rupena. Sadak and Siddha. So of course, as everyone knows, Srila Rupa Goswami's Siddha Rupena is Rupa Manjari. So all of those coming from the group, coming along to assist Rupa Goswami in his mission to establish the heartfelt desires of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are also in his group of Manjaris. So Srila Narayan Maharaj is of that category. He's a close associate, intimate associate of Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami. So what does that mean? He's an intimate maidservant of Srimati Radhika. So what does that mean? That means they have such intimate service to Radha and Krishna that no one else has. Not even Lalita, Vishaka, Ananga Manjari, Vrindadevi, Subal-Saka. No one has such intimate service as Rupa Manjari and her group. So how special is this? And what Srila Rupa Goswami has come to give for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the gift of our also becoming part of his group. There is nothing more valuable, no greater wealth, nothing more special than becoming part of the group, as I would say, the family of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. And that is our birthright, not by material birth, but by being born into the line of Rupa Goswami, our Guru Varg. Our Guru Dev is who? Is our mother and our father. And so we've had birth by Diksha, by Harinam, from our Guru Dev, who's Rupanuga. So we are now entering into the family of Rupa Goswami by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Narayan Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, whoever our Guru is, they're in the Rupanuga line. So Srila Narayan Maharaj, he had a special function to play within this group. Up until that time, the essential secrets of Srila Rupa Goswami had mostly remained covered, hidden. They were there, they were given, but usually in a more hidden form. Although Bhaktivedanta Thakur very explicitly explained, I am Kamala Manjari. He was very explicit in certain times, very explicit. Narottam Das Thakur also very explicit. But most of our acharyas were more, they kind of kept things a little bit hidden and covered. But Srila Narayan Maharaj very boldly, fearlessly, around the world, to the lowest of the low, the Mlechas and the Yavanas of the Western world, us, course, we were lucky. We had at least come up a little bit by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada had laid a foundation. He had brought it. He's given us initiation into the family of Rupa Goswami. So, and he had given us some qualification. So Srila Narayan Maharaj, on that platform, and coming to those who had some qualification, and even those who didn't have qualification, he was boldly saying, the Sambandha, who are you? You are a jiva. You're a spirit soul. But you're come now into the line of Rupa Goswami, so who are you? You're the potential maidservant of Srimati Radhika. Actually, that's who you are, but it's not manifest. That's who you are. And in your sadhak form we have now, we're Rupanuga. We're following in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami. Boldly he was saying, what does this mean? What is it? And then he would say, what is the process? Abhideya, chanting Hare Krishna, but following especially Rupa and Sanatan, and following Upadeshamrita. Especially he would emphasize Upadeshamrita. The first verse, Vacho Vegam, control the tongue. Very basic. But the most important verse, Tan Nama Rupa Charanadi, on and on and on. What is it? To live in Braj. To be in Braj. With your body. It's very important to be here with our physical body. And if by chance we cannot be here with our body, we must be here with our mind and our heart. It's an absolute necessity. If we want to attain Braj Bhakti, if we want to attain our real Swarup as a Manjari of Srimati Radhika, it's not possible anywhere else, because where are Radha and Krishna? They are in Vrindavan. And Vrindavan has a special potency. Vrindavan, even the little dust particles are filled with the power to instill prem, Braj Prem. How incredible, how incredible. So we should pray to the dust, even if we're over there in Switzerland or in Bolivia or wherever we are. You pray to the dust of Vrindavan for what? To allow us, Shri Vrindavan Dham, please allow us entrance into Vrindavan. Please. And because we're also a bit fallen, we also pray first actually to Gupta Vrindavan Shri Navadvip Dham. Gupta Vrindavan, Navadvip. We pray to the dust particles of Navadvip Dham too. And Puri Dham. Because Puri is Gaur Leela, the mercy, Gaur Kripa. Now Srila Narayan Maharaj was teaching this by his own personal example. How? He took all of us on Navadvip Parikrama every year. And during Purushottam, he would take us to Puri. And every year during Kartik, he would take us to Vrindavan on Braj Mandal Parikrama. And because he's a Pranayi Bhakta, which Bhaktivedanta Thakur says you need to go on Parikrama with a Pranayi Bhakta, so he could do this. He could take us on Parikrama. If not, what can it be then? Bhaktisiddhanta said, if you're not with a Pranayi Bhakta, what does it become? It becomes like sightseeing. Yeah? Because we don't have the qualification to even touch the dust of Vrindavan, really. We don't. To see how many of us are having darshan of Vrindavan, Navadvip. Are we really having darshan? No. Because I'm not. So Srila Narayan Maharaj, he's so kindly, so full of compassion. He would say, please come to Navadvip. Come to Navadvip with me. And he would take us to all the places of Gaur Leela. All the places. And take us deep, deep, deep into these pastimes. What do they mean? What is the significance of these pastimes? And it would give us the tattva. Also, he gave us Navadvip Dham Mahatmya of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He gave us his own Navadvip Parikrama book. And he would always quote from Jagadananda Pandit's Prem Vivart or Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he was giving us Lord Chaitanya's mercy, the mercy of Gaur. But he would always say, or in Puri, he would take us around to all the places in Puri. Tota Gopinath. Of course, most of us couldn't go to Jagannath, but we could circumambulate the Puri temple. He would take us to Haridas Thakur Siddha Bakul. But in both places, what would he do? He would say, now, quickly go to Braj. Don't stay here. Don't stay in Navadvip. Don't stay in Puri. Personally, because I was with him many times, even not during Parikrama, let's say in Puri. And he would say, okay, I would be there. Now you go back to Vrindavan. Always go to Vrindavan. And after the Navadvip Parikrama, he'd say, don't stay here. Go to Vrindavan. Like this, because the goal is Vrindavan. Bhaktivedanta Thakur has revealed this, especially in his Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, but also in his Navadvip Bhava Taranga. And Srila Narayan was giving us all this. He was opening the doors to these, let's say, open secrets. They're right in front of us. Right in front of us. Chaitanya Charitamrita's been there. Bhaktivedanta Thakur's songs have always been there. And Prabhupada was saying, yes, Vrindavan is my home. Vrindavan's my home. And all the time we were, Baba Trini remembers, says, back home, back to Godhead. Okay, back home, back to Godhead. Every time, and he was always talking about Vrindavan, but we weren't so qualified in those days. We were a little materially attached, and also full of a few anarthas. I remember the first time I came to Vrindavan was 1975 with Srila Prabhupada, who, when we opened the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, the ISKCON temple. And by Prabhupada's mercy, first we had gone to Navadvip, Mayapur, and we'd had 24-hour kirtan there, and we came to Vrindavan, and he had us doing 24-hour kirtan for the installation of the Didis. We stayed until Ram Navami, of course, because we came for Gaur Purnima. We had that in Navadvip, Mayapur, but then we came to Vrindavan for Ram Navami for the opening. And by his mercy, when I went to Navadvip, I felt like I was walking into the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when I came to Vrindavan, I felt like I'd come home. No joke, I had come home. And I felt if I could just turn fast enough, I would see Krishna. This was all the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. But I wasn't so qualified. So I had to go back to America, right? And how many, 17 long, no, because I'd already had, let's see, that's 75, so 3 from 7, 14 long years later, after visiting a few times, then Prabhupada, although he had left externally, he was still guiding me in my heart, guided me to Vrindavan, right? And he guided me to who? That Pranayi Bhakta that could actually take me into Vrindavan, into Navadvip, into Puri, and give me the qualification to ultimately go back home, back to Godhead. Isn't it? Why? Because that's who they are. They are residents of Navadvip, residents of Puri, residents of Vrindavan. You need entrance. Like if you want to see the President of the United States, you don't just walk into the White House. You can't. You have to have somebody who's a friend, or at least you have to have some kind of official, thing to let you in. So into Vrindavan, there's Gopishwar we pray to. There's Purnamasi. But who are the most intimate? Who are the ones that can give us the actual shelter that we want at the place in Vrindavan that we want? Is the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika, are her maidservants, right? Who are under the care of Nityananda Prabhu, who is a Kandaguru Tattva, and he's a proprietor for Navadvip. But here in Vrindavan, Ananga Manjari and Lalita Devi, Swarup Damodar. But who? Who is the one that we're seeking the shelter from? The Manjaris. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, our Guru Manjaris. That's our ultimate destination. That's back home, back to Godhead for us. And Srila Narayan Maharaj boldly told us this. And he boldly said, Srila Prabhupada is a Manjari. He's Rupanuga, and he's definitely a maidservant of Srimati Radhika. He went around the world for 20 years establishing this. Who is Srila Prabhupada? You know, and who is our entire Guru Parampara. And this is our birthright. We've been born into this line now. You see? But we have to take it seriously if we want to go back home, back to Godhead as soon as possible. Because we have to understand who is Sri Guru. Sri Guru, in the group of Rupa Manjari, they are the most powerful personalities, along with Srimati Radhika. Why? Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead falls at their feet and asks for permission to see Srimati Radhika when she's in Man. He has to take shelter himself, Krishna, of these Manjaris. So who is more powerful? Who has the power to pick us up and take us all the way to their own lotus feet? To the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, say more Sampada, say more Bhajana Putana. Rupa Goswami has given us, you might say, the address of our final destination, of our home. My lotus feet, actually. And that is the most intimate association with Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, isn't it? Because they are, when Srimati Radhika is going out to meet with Krishna at night, and she's so tired, right? And she's actually very shy. But to her maidservants, she's never shy, because they're so intimate. You know, she has no shyness before her maidservants. They can help her dress. They can do anything. So when she's going out, and she's very tired, she calls one of her manjaris, please come, please massage my lotus feet. I'm tired. This is our final destination, the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika, by the mercy of Sri Rupa Manjari and her associates. And this is who Srila Prabhupada is, Srila Narayan Maharaj, all of our Guru Varg. This is who they are. And the other thing that's so important for us to know is because they're so powerful, they can give us everything in a second. And that's proved by another Manjari, Sanatana Goswami, who is Lavanga Manjari. In his Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in the second part about Gop Kumar, he tells his whole story, and he has to go here. He has to do so much labor, to get to Vraja Vrindavan, right? He has to go everywhere. It's so difficult. But then, Srimati Radhika sends him back as Guru, as Sri Guru, to who? His disciple Jana Sharma. And Jana Sharma doesn't have to go through all that labor. Gop Kumar tells him his story, and he has heard everything, but he hasn't realized. So what does Gop Kumar do? He places his hand, his powerful lotus hand, on the head of Jana Sharma, and everything comes. He immediately gets prem. Prem. Where is Krishna? He's crying. He has prem by the mercy of his Guru, Gop Kumar. And this is Sakya Ras. What to speak of Mādhurya Ras. So the power, it says just by a glance, just by a word, just by them thinking of us, an embrace, because their whole body is made of Braj Prem. And the bodies of the Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavas is made of Manjari Prem. Gurudeva coined a phrase, I think I've said it before, Braj Bhakti Rasa Sar. The essence of Braj Bhakti Ras. It's the moods of the main Manjaris. This is what their body is made of, because in the spiritual world, one's body is made of bhav. It's not made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. No, it's made of bhav. The spiritual body is made of bhav. So this is their bhav, their special mood, you see? And so that's emanating from them. They may look like an ordinary human being like us, but they're not. And it's actually offensive we start to think of them like that. So So we, and also another thing that actually Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj said, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm too fallen. And we become hopeless. No, I can't do it. Not in one lifetime. But he said, actually, that's an offense. Because that means you don't actually understand who your guru is, what he can do. And it's because you're trying to be the doer. You think you're the doer. I can't do it. You see? But if we take shelter of Sri Guru, who has the power to do it in a second, we never have any reason to be hopeless. Ever. But Srila Narayan Maharaj explained in one letter, I sent it out recently, but it's so beautiful. What is Krishna doing? Krishna is waiting. See, we have our Bhakti Lata, back to Mādhurya-kādambinī, right? And our Bhakti Lata is growing and growing. And one day we'll have the fruit of prema will come. But fruit, when it first comes, is not mature. It's not ripe. So Krishna waits, even though he would like to taste it. But he's very greedy to taste this new fruit of prema. But he waits until it's really, really ripe. He waits and waits and waits. So that's what we have to be understanding. The mercy of Krishna comes at the appropriate time, when Krishna wants, when he sees it's the best. He even said that to the gopis, didn't he? I disappeared. Why did I disappear? I wanted your prema to come up. I wanted to hear your separation moves. I wanted to hear you. I wanted to hear your prema. And I wanted it to go up, 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 because separation nourishes meeting, right? But then again, what did he say? But I'm ever indebted to you. I cannot repay my debt to you. So isn't that the mood when even when the Sadik Jiva, the conditioned soul, when he attains perfection, like in Gop Kumar's and Jana Sharma, what did Krishna say? I am so indebted to you for having come. You finally come home. You finally come back to me. Finally, finally. So this is what, when we keep practicing, keep doing our sadhan bhajan, never losing hope, never not having faith, but going on, keeping our sadhan bhajan going no matter how difficult. So then it's growing and Krishna's watching. And then one day for sure, and it can even come in one lifetime. It can. It's up to Krishna. It's up to Guru and Krishna. But we should think it's possible, so we should try for it. Isn't it? If we don't try for it, then what kind of offering is that to our Guru? Actually, the best offering is not flowers and garlands and, a birthday cake and this and that. The best offering is ourselves. Just wanting to please Sri Guru with our words, our activities, our thoughts, our deep inner moods, and praying, please empower me to be able to satisfy you, to please you, please. So one day you can actually do what you want to do, which is to give me my Siddha Deha, that bhav, that prema, residence at your Manjari lotus feet, entrance into Ras Leela. You want to give this for the pleasure of Krishna. Krishna wants. So this is Guru's service, isn't it? To take all the fruits, all the new fruits that are ripe, and offer to Krishna. Here, so tasty, take. So that's us. You see? He's come to pick the flowers, or pick the fruits, and offer to Krishna. So if we give up and think, well, it's too hard, it's too high, actually I think I'll take a vacation for a while. I think I'll go to Hawaii. And no, I'm sorry. No, I should pick it up. Let's go. What's another one? That's just, I know that one. What's some place in the Caribbean or in the Mediterranean? What's the famous one in the Mediterranean where they all...
Hawaii's a good place.
Okay, let's go to Hawaii And it's kind of spiritual there, because Gurudev used to go there, Prabhupada went there, and if I swim in the ocean, I'm getting their mercy, right? And
At all those sacred rivers.
But I just need some time out, you know. My health is terrible, and I hear it's really good to get healthy there, you know. So, and no one's going to be watching me, so I can just kind of do my sadhana bhajan at my own, you know. Maybe I can surf a little bit, you know. And
How do you know?
you know? But as our Guru Varg says, there's no vacation. In sadhana bhajan, in seva to Sri Guru, a vacation means more seva. That's the vacation. The vacation comes from sense gratification. Please let me take a vacation from my sense gratification. You know, please, please. Let me somehow or other give up my sleeping, my eating, not you know, but as what's appropriate for our level. Let me give up.
Just like Gurudev used to say, someone would say they're going to eat, and he'd say, we don't eat Krishna,
Yeah.
we honor prasadam.
Yes, we serve Krishna.
Yeah.
So let me take a vacation from my prajalpa, from my gossiping, like this. Srila Gurudev was so kind to open up all these treasure boxes that had been bought, you know, by Srila Prabhupada. They were given to Prabhupada by Bhaktisiddhanta, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but he had them in a treasure chest which was in his heart. In Prabhupada's heart was this big treasure, all these jewels, and he would give a peep at them. He was always giving, he was always talking about Mother, he was. But still, his mantra pretty much had to be, you're not the body, you're not the body. Because we were coming from quite a low, our qualification wasn't so. But under Prabhupada's guidance, and with all of his mercy, when Srila Narayan Maharaj came to the West, that was how long? It was from 77 till 96. How many years? 77 to 96. How many years?
Almost 20.
19 years later,
19.
we've been practicing some sadhana bhajan, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, trying to help Prabhupada in Jiva Doi, distributing books, Guru, whatever, preaching down all over the world, making books in every language, you know, Nitai's mercy, and also chanting, serving Thakurji. So when Srila Narayan Maharaj came to the West, there was more qualification. So he could open that treasure box, and he could bring out all the jewels. They're in his heart, in Srila, everyone's, in all of our Guru Varg's heart, and say, look, who are you? Sambandha. You're the disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. You're the disciple of Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. You're the disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Are you wanting to be a disciple? Come, 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 come. What does that mean? Darling daughter, darling sons. But it means more than that. It means actually you're an intimate associate of Rupa Goswami. You're, as we've said, an intimate associate of Srimati Radhika. You have your Siddha Deha and you have your Sadak Deha. He was so clear. He never stopped talking about this. He came to firmly, firmly establish this as the topmost Siddhanta. And then he mercifully left the external vision. He said, I've come to give. What I've come to give, I've given. I've given. Now you have to practice. And you have to give it to others. Just like Srila Prabhupada said, give it to others. The essence was given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jiva Doi Harinam Sarva Dharmasar. Become part of the family of Krishna, Krishna Samsara, something like that. And give up all anachar. Yeah, so give up your bad behavior. Take to the proper behavior of a Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava. Become part of the family of Krishna. and Jiva Doi Harinam. Simple. It's not difficult. Probably the hardest part is giving up our anachar, giving up our bad behavior. Because that doesn't just mean with our body, it means with the mind. Giving up our... This is one thing Srila Narayan Maharaj was so firm. What is the biggest problem? It isn't alcohol, it isn't drugs. It's actually the mind that just criticizes and criticizes and criticizes and fault finds and fault finds and fault finds. This is our biggest impediment, actually, because it leads to offense, doesn't it? It leads to offense. And he taught, as much as he talked about Radha Dashyam, he talked about Upadeshamrita, especially the first verse of Upadeshamrita. Because without this foundation, going there is impossible. Because in Gaur Leela, in Braj Leela, they're not going around criticizing each other, are they? No.
Just Ramachandra Puri.
Yeah, but even he did, and he was going down, right? He got cursed by Rama. She's talking about Ramachandra Puri, but he was what do you call it? He was not cursed. He was his guru rejected him. That's the word, rejected him. He accepted Ishwara Puri, gave him all his mercy. And Ramachandra Puri, he rejected him because he criticized his own guru. This is what criticizing does. If you criticize persons, ultimately you'll criticize your own guru. You'll think he's a mundane person. So we need to stop doing this. Yes, we must do that, even in the mind. And what is one of the 6 Vaishnava aparads? Not to be happy to see another Vaishnava. Now that doesn't just mean the pure devotee Vaishnavas. That means all Vaishnavas. And Mādhurya-kādambinī teaches us that even anyone who has Bhagavan as their Isadev is a Vaishnava of some type. Even Muslims, Christians. It may be, it's an evolution, isn't it? So we should not criticize anyone, even those that are atheists, actually. We shouldn't criticize anyone, but especially anyone who's a Vaishnava. And I was thinking about this, because this isn't always so easy, is it? Because sometimes you have a little bit of a confrontation with another devotee, or let's say with your relative who's a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, and because of this confrontation, you may be thinking, well, I really don't want to see that person. You know, when the person comes in, you think, oh no, here he comes again. You know, isn't it? I mean, really, let's be honest. Here comes this person, I really am not so happy to see him, because maybe we're going to get in a fight again, or, you know, for whatever reason, we're not so happy to see this person. And I was thinking about it and trying to think, well, how to see this, at least from my level. And what came to me was, you know, we have a Kandaguru Tattva Nityananda. And we're all in the school of Nityananda, or you might say the hospital of a Kandaguru Tattva. He's the doctor, and his representatives are the doctors. And we're in a hospital. The whole material world, you might say, is a hospital. And so we should be happy, especially those who are Vaishnavas, who have some form of Bhagavan. The atheists is more difficult for them, but still, they're here. We should be happy that they're in the hospital, that they have that, they're under Nityananda. We should, actually it's so good that person's here, because that person's going to get cured just like I'm getting cured. If he's anyplace else, of course in the material world, really, there's no way of getting away from Nityananda. You can't really get away from Nityananda. But let's say let's say here in Gopinath Bhavan, let's put it here in Gopinath, let's just make it more localized. You know, here the doctor is Srila Narayan Maharaj, Right? He even told me that once. He said, when I was at the Keshavji Gaudiya Math, he said, everyone here is in the hospital, I'm the only doctor. That's when I was in the Keshavji Gaudiya Math. He actually said that. So that applies. And so here at Gopinath Bhavan, I should be happy. Oh, this person who I didn't like so well, didn't really want to see, I should be happy they're here. They're in the hospital. You know, this is the only place that's going to help them, you know, become free from these qualities that aren't so favorable, as long with me too. I have very unfavorable qualities too, and I'm getting cured. So I should be happy. Maybe I don't need to be in the same room with them because we'll bring out each other's disease, you know. But I should be happy they're here. They have a good doctor. You know, it's the only hope for all of us. Anyhow, for me, that really helped. Because I was thinking, how I want to be happy to see everybody, but I'm not really happy to see everybody. I want to be honest, you know. Because one time Srila Gurudev, Srila Narayan Maharaj told me, we were in Puri, and he said to me, you want to do bhajan, but you can't do anything. Okay. But Guru and Krishna want you to do everything. The only thing that you can do is you can be honest. If you're honest, then Guru and Krishna will do everything. So it's really important that we learn to be honest. Not just honest in an external way, but even internally. You know, really honest about, you know, like what I was just talking about. Being honest that I really wasn't very happy to see a lot of the ones that their conditioning and my conditioning didn't get along so well. Oh no, here comes that person again. Let me run the other way. No. We should learn, and this is one thing Srila Narayan Maharaj said about the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. He said, we stayed together partly or mostly because I respected everyone. I respected everyone, gave everyone respect. And didn't we see that with Srila Narayan Maharaj? Not just the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, but to all Vaishnavas. All Vaishnavas, he was so respectful. Maybe in Harikatha he would cut the philosophies if the philosophy was not according to our Siddhanta. But other than that, he was so respectful, so affectionate, so friendly to everyone. Everyone. We saw that. You know, and he would bring the best out of everyone. Even someone, let's say, there were those times when some persons were coming kind of like enemies, you know. But he would change their heart, and they become so favorable, they'd even become his disciple. You know? Because he was so loving, so affectionate. I lived in Mathura with him for 6 years. Everyone in Mathura loved him. Everyone from top to bottom loved him. Even in Vrindavan here, everyone loves him. But sometimes he would be like really smashing the philosophies, you know, but that was in the Harikatha. That wasn't his daily personal dealings with everyone. So we should learn that. We think that, oh yes, those persons over there, they're affair this, and so we go on criticizing, smashing, even when we're talking one-on-one. No, we should be very respectful, actually. And we shouldn't just talk about all the faults, even if they're true. That we'll get to that in the Mādhurya-kādambinī. I think it's Srila Sridhar Swami, in his commentary to, I forgot where, he's talking about this point. Even if there is some fault in a Vaishnava, it should not be spoken. Not by us common devotees. And then the question comes up, well, how will that person be rectified? And the answer is, by Sri Guru. Sri Guru has the power to speak up, not us. And the Sri Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas that are on that platform, the ones that have the power to liberate a whole universe, Sri Vaishnava, Sri Guru, they, Krishna, They're in school. It's not that Nityananda Prabhu doesn't see everyone and everything. All we have to do is study the Chaitanya Charitamrita to understand who is Nityananda. The super soul is an expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. Guru is here, Chaitya Guru, coming from Nityananda. He is in the heart of every living entity. He knows everything about everyone. And what is his mercy? Door to door, please chant Krishna, follow Krishna, worship Krishna. Jagai Madai. He went to the most fallen. We kind of think it's a joke, because we've seen plays and we see people acting like Jagai and Madai, but it's kind of comical, But actually, it's not a joke. Jagai and Madai were doing every most abominable behavior. They were abominable. In Navadvip at that time, people would run when they would see them. They were afraid of them, so much afraid of them. They were horrible. Horrible. But Nitai went and he rescued them. He saved them. This is Nitai. This is our Guru. Our Guru's coming. Our Guru's in the special part of Nityananda's school under Rupa Goswami. But he's still coming from Nityananda. Ananga Manjari, Baladev. So powerful and so compassionate, so merciful. They want to take us back as soon as possible. So we should want it. We should want it for their pleasure, for the pleasure of our Guru. And we should understand, we should have faith, Shraddha, strong faith in the mercy. And all we should do is, hey Gurudev, I know I'm not really qualified. I'm the lowest of the low. I know it, but I know that your compassion flows to the lowest of the low. That's where your sweet mercy comes. So please don't forget me. Please help me. Please help me to become qualified. What is that little sloka from Radha Krishna Pada Kamale? It's Dase Dan Adhikar Jugala Vilas. Please bestow upon me the qualification to serve Jugal Vilas. Bhaktivedanta Thakur giving us the answer. Please, and before that, I won't go through the whole song. He's saying how fallen he is. He's the most fallen. But this is his prayer. So we shouldn't think I'm too fallen to pray this. No. Bhaktivedanta Thakur is my grandfather, your great-grandfather, whatever, however it is, but he's part of our family. Let's put it that way. He's part of our family. He's Kamala Manjari. Just see how merciful. He's the Bhagirata Ganga Bhakti. He's coming showering to reestablish the line of Rupa Goswami. Really had become very covered. And he reestablished, brought that pure stream of Rupa-nuga Bhakti. So we should dive deep into his teachings and take them seriously and have faith. Have that shraddha. And keep sadhu sangha. You see? The favorable sadhu sangha. Through the heart, through the shastra, through the devotees, like this. Really, it all depends on sadhu sangha and shraddha. So when our mind starts saying, giving us doubts of, what is it in Bhagavad Gita? Somebody who's a doubtful soul can't, what's the verse in Bhagavad Gita? Who remembers that? A doubting soul. It doesn't get anywhere. Something, I forgot what it is. But there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita about the doubting souls. It's a big problem. So we should not doubt.
Doubt is opposite to faith.
Yeah. Yeah, doubt is opposite of faith. That means that we have bad association, which means our mind. Our mind is bad association. You see? So as soon as this comes, we have to try and recognize it as soon as possible and run away from it, just like we want to run away from bad association. If a drunkard comes up, you're gonna try and get him to chant Hare Krishna before you run away, because you don't want his association, right? So when your mind is being bad association, you chant Hare Krishna to it, and you run away from the bad part. You know what I mean? You run. That's why you learn verses from all of our shastras, because they're friends, they're good association. That's sadhu sangha, right? That's what. Yeah, their personality. That's right. They become gopis. Who's it? The Shrutis. The Shrutis, after having heard about the gopis, they do all their austerities and penances, and they become gopis in their next life. And then new Shrutis come along, so it's always coming. Yeah, these are the verses of the Shrutis. What is that? The Vedas? That's the spoken. Is that the Vedas? Must be the Vedas. I never get Shruti and Smriti. I can never quite remember who's who. But anyhow, just see. So even if you can't learn the Sanskrit, I asked this to Srila Narayan Maharaj, I have a really hard time with the Sanskrit, remembering everything. He said, that doesn't matter. Learn the essence of the verse. So the essence is there. You see? So you have that friend to fall back upon when your mind is just giving you, or even someone externally. You have that essential truth there as a friend, as sadhu sangha to help you. You see? This is important. So important. What time is it? Ooh. I wanted to say 2 words also about Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj, because about 4 days ago it was his appearance day. And I was also very fortunate to have his association a little bit. And as I said yesterday in glorification of Srila Narayan Maharaj, he exhibited that quality that these Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnavas have, an essential quality, which is freedom from envy. No envy. Because he was my Shiksha Guru, and like I said, he never tried to keep me for himself. He only tried to help me serve Prabhupada more and more and more, make me qualified. He was serving Srila Prabhupada. He was never trying to take me for himself. So Srila Trivikram Maharaj had that same quality. Now he never took the service of being a guru, a Diksha Guru, Harinam Diksha Guru. He was Shiksha Guru to many, many. But he was never, ever envious. He exhibited that so amazingly. When he would come sometimes for living in Mathura at the Mat when I was there, and he'd also come for Vrajmandal Parikrama. He'd be there for the Navadvip Dham Parikrama. And he was so beautiful. And he would always just glorify Gurudev, like this. And one time, it was time for class in Mathura, about, 6 or whatever time evening class was. And Gurudev had gone out of his room and he was going to go sit on the Vyasasan. And Trivikram, he had a room right next to him. And he comes out and then he was just glowing. He says about Srila Narayan, he says, "Isn't he wonderful? Isn't he just wonderful?" I mean, it's like, like this. And sometimes I was on the Navadvip Dham Parikrama, and when I first went on Navadvip Dham Parikrama, Gurudev was up and Trivikram Maharaj had a room right below him. And we'd be going and we'd come and we'd pay our obeisances to him first. And he'd say, "Oh, go to your, go." He'd send us to Gurudev. He was never trying to keep anyone for himself. And if someone was having difficulties, because sometimes disciples have difficulties, right? They may have doubts. He would always help that devotee having faith in their guru, Srila Narayan Maharaj, or whoever it was. Always. Always. So he was so inspiring. And sometimes during Vrajmandal Parikrama, let's say, I remember this one time, and it was all the time actually, because he was rather large, and he was getting older by that time, and he didn't move so fast. So we were going to Charan Bahari. It's a little path you're going out. And he's kind of going along, and all the devotees are kind of, and just running past him, but he's just going along, he didn't care, and everyone's just trying to run to keep up with Srila Narayan Maharaj, But he was just so happy. So he wasn't disturbed that they kind of maybe bumped into him or, no, he was fine. No envy, no anger, no hatred, nothing like this. Always just showering his mercy. And sometimes, of course, he was very strong, but that's because it was like, a guru is like a sword, cutting the knots. So in his Harikatha, he would really tell the truth about the reality of the material world. He didn't mince any words. But he was very jolly, actually. I'll tell you one really sweet pastime I had with him. When I lived at the Keshivji Gaudiya Math, before Srila Gurudev moved upstairs, where his room is now, used to be kind of like, they had all these pots of tulsi. It's kind of like a tulsi garden, but they were all in pots, right? So early one morning, I was sitting facing the pots, looking this way. And all of a sudden, all this water is coming all over me. And I turn around, and there's Srila Trivikram Maharaj, laughing and showering water on me and showering water on Tulsi. And he was just laughing away. And I thought, wow, am I lucky? Haribol. Yeah. So he was very jolly. Very, very jolly. Huh?
Jolly mean?
Oh, what would you say? It's happy, but it's even more it's more of a jubilant. Yeah, more like jubilant. Happy is kind of but jubilant maybe. Jolly is like, well, I'll give you a mundane example. Santa Claus, he's jolly. You see what I mean? That's
Not funny, but kind of funny.
Anyhow.
Happy with fun.
Yeah. Now I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to do? No, let me see. What was I going to say?
You were being treated after you were being treated like a tulsi plant.
Yeah, no, but there was another pastime had come and I forgot now. Let's see if I can remember what I was going to say. Oh, this is an important point because I myself heard it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. No, actually, I'm not going to say that. No, I won't say that. We'll forget that one.
Now we all want to hear it because you're not.
I know, but I'm not. Anyhow, now it's time. It's time. So, oh yes, this is one. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he told this pastime about Srila Trivikram Maharaj. And they were in Puri on Parikrama one time. And they had gone to Tota Gopinath. And Srila Narayan Maharaj had asked Trivikram Maharaj to speak. And he was speaking about how he was so fallen, he hadn't gained anything, and like this. And so then some devotees, they get confused by this. How is it that someone like Trivikram Maharaj said, I haven't gained anything, what's the use, like this? So then Srila Narayan Maharaj asked Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj to speak. And because he's also of that high quality, he knew exactly what Srila Narayan Maharaj wanted to clarify the situation. And he said, this speaking of Trivikram Maharaj, I'm paraphrasing it, is simply his exhibiting his humility. It's like, we call it maybe Anubhav. Like, it's something that appears and then it comes into pure devotees. They become so humble, so humble. Even in the writings of Rupa Goswami, you see this, or Sanatana Goswami, they call themselves the most fallen. Or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I am so fallen. So Trivikram Maharaj was like that. He was so humble, so humble, like that. Okay, we should stop here. So we can have kirtan. Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai ho. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol Vancha Kalpaturista Kripa Sindhuvya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Okay.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Gaur Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bo. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami's Abhirbhava Festival Ki Jai Ho. Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj Abhirbhava Festival Ki Jai Ho.